My name is Jill Burke, and I probably started coming to see Dr. Ganc probably about a year and a half ago, something like that. Years ago, when I was about 25, 28, a long time ago, and I had moved down to Florida, I started having a bunch of sinus problems and things, and terrible pain in my face and all that. And finally, I had this surgery called septorhinoplasty, where they make it bigger. Also, I was a smoker back then too, and they told me to quit smoking. So I had a lot of, but they made the opening bigger, and that helped my sinuses. And from then on, I didn't think I had any sinus problems. And then later, and I quit smoking too. But later in life, then I started getting migraine headaches and that. And the reason I started coming here, I was just getting horrible. I started getting allergies too. Never had allergies. But I, for some reason, didn't think about coming to an ear, nose, and throat. I hadn't been to one. I go to a lot of doctors because I also had lung cancer and COPD and a lot of other things. But I was starting to be where, like, it was about a year or so ago, more than that, I've had these headaches, but it was like pain under my cheek sometimes too. And after a while, I would start thinking, well, maybe it's sinus again. I had never thought of it because I thought the other surgery I did many years ago had cleared it, and I just never thought of it. I thought it was migraine. But I was starting to feel horrible. Every morning I'd wake up and I'd feel my head would feel heavy. It ruined my whole day, really. I'd have this horrible headache. I'd try to take migraine stuff. I'd put, ice on my head, everything. It was horrible. And finally I decided, well, maybe I need to see an ENT. And so I came here, and Dr. Ganc first tried different sprays and all different things like that. And then, somehow I read his thing too about this procedure, and then, we talked about it, and he told me about it. And I said, I think I would really like to have that. And I came in here, and he did it in his office and opened up all the, it was actually scary, but kind of cool in a way. Like when they did the balloon thing, you could hear the little bones kind of crunching, and I mean, it's kind of gross, but I think he opened I think there's 8 sinuses. I'm not sure if he did all of them, but it was a really cool procedure. I mean, it wasn't really scary or anything. It didn't take long. But when I walked out of here, even though I think my nose had stuff in it, like packed maybe, not much, but had something, and my son had to come get me. I wasn't to drive. But I remember walking out of here, and it was like all of a sudden I could breathe. It was like the first time I had been able to really breathe, even then. And so I will say that after that, my headaches kind of stopped. So all these time, a lot of these things I thought were migraines, I think were caused from the sinus, because I'd have pain up around up in here. Sometimes I'd have pain here, but up in here a lot. And I kept thinking it was migraines, and it really kind of saved my life, because back at the time when I first started coming here, there were probably about 10 days a month that I was feeling bad. I mean, you can't go living your life like that where you're constantly not feeling good. And it really made me tired and all that. I think it was just all the sinus pressure and everything. And when he opened all those things, now I guess everything can drain. And oh gosh, I feel 100% better. And I'd come back, for different checkups and that. And I kept telling him how he saved my life. That really, it was miserable. It was just miserable feeling like that. And sometimes I'd travel with my kids when they were in soccer and go to say North Carolina or different places. And most of the time when I'd go somewhere else too, it seemed like I'd get the headaches too, maybe because of the allergies and the swelling and everything like that. I really hardly have any of that problem anymore. I mean, barely at all. So like I said, he saved my life. And I do recommend it to anybody I meet who happens to, friends I have that have sinus problems and things like that. Because really, I feel like I even breathe better. And like I said, I actually had lung cancer too, so I had my lung removed, and I have COPD, so it's hard for me to breathe anyway. But being able to breathe so much better and feel like all those sinuses are opened really has helped me tremendously. The procedure itself, actually, I wasn't too much afraid or anything. I mean, because I felt like it was really going to help me. And I just sat there in the chair, and I think they put stuff in my nose that made it so I couldn't feel everything. But, I was awake during the whole thing. I did it right there in the office. And like I said, I could hear when he would go into the different sinuses, I think he said there were 8 of them. I'm not sure if he was able to do all 8 of mine, but pretty much most of them. And when he'd send that tube up in there, I mean, I couldn't really feel anything. It wasn't scary or anything. Like I said, I could hear like the bones kind of crunching. It sounds like gross to you, but it wasn't to me, because I felt like it was opening up that, you know, all of my sinuses, I guess, were blocked up, and it was then opening it up. And didn't even last that long. I'm not even thinking an hour, if even that. And, you know, he explained everything he was doing, so I wasn't afraid. I think I had gotten online too and watched some things, so I kind of, you know, knew what was going on. But he explained everything, what he was doing too. It helps knowing, you know, what somebody's doing to you and everything. But nothing hurt or anything like that. And it was pretty much over before I knew it. And even I think I walked out of here with maybe cotton or something up in my nose. Maybe it was bleeding or something. I know my son, he's like 21, and he picked me up, and he thought it was gross because I had some Band-Aid. I think I had a Band-Aid here with maybe, I don't know if it had a little tiny blood on it or something, but I think that came right off. It wasn't any big deal. I don't even remember, you know, I think it was not much of healing. I mean, I know it takes a while to heal, but it seemed like when I walked out of here, I could just breathe. It was like the air was just, even right then, I could take a deep breath, and, you know, the air just seemed, it was almost like someone's shooting you full of oxygen or something. It was very cool. And right away, I stopped getting all those terrible headaches and the pain in my face and everything else. And I knew it worked for me. I think, you know, there was probably different solutions or different sprays or different things I probably had to do for a while. But, you know, it was a year ago when I had it done. It seemed to be a very, very simple thing. And I, you know, wished I'd had it done way long before that, because I suffered for so long. And when I did have it done, I was down to where I was getting these things. Oh yeah, Dr. Ganc was really a great doctor. He explained everything about the procedure. You know, before that, we tried some other things, you know, sprays and different things like that didn't seem to work. And then when we started talking about this procedure, I mean, he explained everything to me. And I really felt like that's exactly when I started thinking about it. I thought, why didn't I think about that? You know, that's really probably what all this pain was, is my sinuses all blocked up. And I kind of felt in my heart that it was going to do the trick for me. And he got me in here right away, thank goodness. And, you know, explained everything to me. I wasn't afraid at all. And it was wasn't painful or anything. And I'm really so happy that I had it done. Dr. Ganc is a very caring doctor. I connected with him because he had some little children, and I can remember back when my kids were little, and I knew that, I think at the time when I first met him, I don't know if he had one and one on the way, but I would always kind of tell him to remember to help, even though he was a doctor, that he needed to go home and help his wife when he got home, because it's a hard job being a mother and taking care of little kids. I just, you know, connected with him on that kind of level, and he was a very, very nice young doctor, and was very helpful to me. Oh gosh, I would recommend him. Yes, like I said, I tell everybody that I know that has any kind of problem like this. Yes, he's a very caring, also very handsome.